Hi everyone, it's a big week this week with the Fed announcement, but also, and by the way, the market as of Friday was 100% pricing a 25% basis point increase. So that's going to be a bit of a dampener. Big results won't be that huge for a couple of companies because essentially they pre-announced. That would be Exxon. Although there was a big range on what Exxon would make in their 8K, essentially the market's been quite heavily guided down for Exxon results. And then Chevron last night, kind of weird actually, pre-announced, partly because they announced some management changes. CFO's going, new CFO comes in, and Mike Wirth extends as CEO, which the market will like. He's very popular on Wall Street. But also they came out basically and said they'll make $3.08, where the street was at about $2.90. But of course, like Exxon, those numbers had been quite heavily cut. Another interesting one, which actually is directly relevant to Exxon, will be Valero. And, you know, when we had lunch with Valero to say goodbye to Joe Gorder, this outgoing CEO, around the end of the quarter in June, late June, basically they were saying, without being able to say anything, that the quarter had been good. But at the time, the street was at 410. Estimates have actually gone up since then to more like $5. And I think they might do $6 actually, because they've just been so remarkable in terms of the earnings delivery. Now, of course, that jibes against Exxon, but of course Exxon has a lot more European refining, which was really rough in Q2, and that will be a theme, for example, for Shell too, where essentially really poor European refining will hurt numbers, and Shell's numbers have come down more than any others. So there you are looking for multiple expansion, again with a new CEO, but basically, I think it's going to be a tough one for Shell based on the earnings estimates that we're seeing. So Shell reports Thursday, Valero, I think it's Thursday, Exxon, Chevron, Friday. And then coming up earlier this week, over the next couple of days, will be the gas names. And again, the earnings have come down enormously, but the stocks have actually been strong. So just watch out going into those results, because I think they could be disappointing to the market on the natural gas side. And it seems like the rotation is on actually back into oil, because oil is looking lively as we start the week. We are definitely pushing towards the 200-day moving average, and I think if we break through that on technicals, we may be in a new range, certainly right through to Labor Day. So for the next couple of months, as the market tightens and we remain at elevated demand levels through summer. So it'll be exciting this week to watch whether we can break through the 200-day to the upside on oil, which is about $82 a barrel Brent. We're getting very close to that this morning already, and that could lead to a technical breakout. As we know, the speculative pressure has generally been pretty much on the downside over the past few months, and so we're due to have a bit of a bouncy run here, which is kind of what we're anticipating into Labor Day. But we're worried about the results, because we think the E&P results will be even worse than Exxon and Chevron's relatively muted results. And you've got to remember that getting back to 82 is actually well below the peak of Q2, so it's not that we'll have a major upcycle in earnings unless we sustain this current run, which should be quite possible. One of the interesting things out there is Russia crudes are now trading above 60, so we'll see if that continues to be a question of sanctions evasion and sort of dubious reporting, or whether or not that actually begins to affect Russian exports, which again could be something on the bullish side. And generally speaking, the mood out there is bullish right now, as oil is looking pretty lively, and we're finally getting towards breaking into that new range above the 200-day. That's about it. It's pretty miserable here in Brooklyn actually today. Not much sun, but this little fellow, I'm sort of embarrassed to say, is a hero around here, because he just caught a rat last night. We're absolutely thrilled with him. Achilles, good job, son.